What's up, guys? It's Matt Jackson and Clay Smith, and we are the Wash Bros. Thank you for tuning in this Sunday night for our Mother's Day edition. This is going to be episode 14, and we're going to be talking about the top 5 tools that made us money this year. So, you want to kick this thing off, Clay?
Yes, sir. Got mine wrote down, ready to talk about it, excited about it because money makes me excited. I know it makes you excited too. We were just talking about it. Um, top tools that made me money. First and foremost, I want to say it's my CRM, House Call Pro. Talk about it every episode. How the CRM makes me money. I'm able to track everything. I'm able to get paid through House Call Pro. I'm able to, when I say track everything, I'm able to report everything. I can look up how much revenue I've earned this week. It literally breaks it down by the week, the day, the month, the year. You can compare to last year. If you're down on numbers, you can say, okay, I don't know, if I'm down a little bit, I need to see what I need to adjust to be able to make that money. It tells you your jobs completed, your average job size, and you can compare it year over year. And the total new jobs booked. I'm actually looking at it right now, so I got a good cheat sheet. But I feel like it's a necessity, Matt. If you don't have a CRM, you need to get a CRM. Very important. You want to be able to track that data. You want to be able to talk to your customers, keep all your customers' data. Just because, I mean, every customer costs you money. Every lead you get, you need to make sure you're logging because it costs you money.
Exactly. And this is one of those things we always regret. We look back when we first started our business and we're like the pen and paper guy or the Google Sheets guy, and you're like, hey, I got the address and I got like a phone number, and that's all I got. And then we're like, man, there was 100 or something customers that if we had in our CRM, it could automate mailers for it. It could automate like email follow-ups. And you're probably the same as me, is like when we'll do an email campaign through our CRM, or through MailChimp with the information from our CRM, or even postcards through our CRM, like you'll get repeat business year in, year out. And that's farming those customers that we talk about every episode. It's okay if it's $50 to $60 for a new customer for buying that customer on Google, or say you're doing your TV stuff, there's a lot of investment in that. But like those customers that we have in our CRM, they know, like, and trust us. They use us year in, year out. They're the best type of customers. This is the time of year where you get the Google reviews again because you got the customers. They're like, hey, we use you every year. These guys are great. Keep it up. And you get the tips. They're easy to deal with. You know the house. And what you're probably realizing too is like when you're washing these repeat houses, it's a lot cleaner than it was the first time we washed them. And I got my guy, Ryan, who he has washed these houses 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We're starting to see them coming back because we've been farming this list through like follow-up campaigns and email campaigns through our CRM. And he's like, man, it takes half the time to clean this house because I've already been to the house, customer knows what to expect, and the house is clean from last time. So like Clay says, CRM, when people ask like, oh, like what's the most important tool you should have? Number one, without question, is CRM. And like he says, we both use House Call Pro. It's great for our size businesses. It's helped us grow, and also Google reviews. Like Clay's got a lot of Google reviews. I've got a lot of Google reviews. We do the same system to accumulate Google reviews, and we're not even thinking about it. Like the Google reviews just come to us because the systems in our CRM automates everything, sends everybody a request, and I've got 500 reviews. Clay's got almost 400 reviews. So we're pretty much neck and neck just because I started a little earlier than he did, but we're following that same system. So highly recommend getting a CRM, setting it up to work for you, and that way you can grow your business and not struggle to get ahead while people like Clay and I are using a CRM. What would you say another good tool is besides the CRM?
Um, well, I was just thinking about that. So another good tool, and it's worth every penny, is your website. You want people to be able to find you. You want people to be able to fill out their information. You want people to be able to take a look at some work that you've done. You want them to read about you, read about your story, read about how you got started. Maybe read a couple of reviews that your customer left for you. You want them to be able to click that tab that says "Get pricing" or "Get a quote" or however you word it. You want to be able to click it on there, and you want them to be able to. So basically, how we have it, I know Matt has it the same way. The customer goes on your website, they fill out the form, and it comes to you via email or text message. Once you get that, you send it straight out to the customer. reach out to them, let them know, hey, you're going to be giving them a quote, however however you prefer to do it. I prefer to reach out to the customer, say, hey, just wanted to say, hey, thank you for filling out our form online. We're going to get you a quote as soon as possible, just so I can give you an accurate quote. What is the scope of work, right? If they did not list that, that way you can give them an accurate quote, cuts out all the bull crap. Um, and the thing with a website is you do not want to do one of the Wix sites. Don't go cheap on the website. Just take my word for it. Make sure you do it the right way. Me and Matt use the same company. We use 180 sites. Ryan, he's good. Check them out. Tell them we sent you. But well worth the money. The thing with the website is you don't want to go the cheap route because the websites are slower. They don't rank well with Google. Google and slow does not get along. They want to take care of the client that's searching for you. So you need to make sure that you do your part, spend the money, don't go cheap, invest in yourself, believe in yourself, and just do it the right way the first time.
Exactly. And from a brand perspective, if somebody's Googling everybody and there's 5 companies that they're looking at comparing each other, they're going to look at the guys who's got the best website. And I did a job the other day in Pickens, outside of my area, but it was a roof wash. It was like a $500 single side of a roof. And I was there for like 20 minutes, just soft washing with my hair 45 the roof, cleaned up all the streaks. And I was like, so how'd you find me? Like normally I don't go way out to Pickens, almost near Lake Kiwi, to do a house service. And he's like, well, I liked your website, your branding looked really professional. So it's like, okay, like we all talk about like in-person quotes and all this stuff. We want to like woo and sell the customer. It's funny, on one of the Facebook pressure washing groups, you get the question of like, oh, I don't have time to do in-person quotes. And you get these people who are obsessed with in-person quotes. Oh, I can sell this, I can sell that. Okay. And then you look at their online presence and it's absolutely atrocious. Instead of trying to like spend your time wooing and trying to sound professional in person with the customer, get that website dialed in correctly. So all the eyes that you funnel to you with your marketing is going to be like really professional, high-end website. You invest in your image and your brand. Like you have to do this stuff to differentiate yourself from everybody else because everybody else is in this game to win. And if you're not doing everything you can to have a professional website, make it really easy, make it rank well on Google, you're just going to be irrelevant. And if you want to play the game of door knocking in the springtime and trying to catch a couple neighbors who are needing a house pressure washed, that's one thing. But when you are stacking a business, building up momentum, and doing high volume like Clay and I, you can't survive on that. Like people are always looking at websites and looking at comparing and contrast these guys. Oh, well, this pressure washer's website looks like he made it, like Clay said, on Wix. It looks terrible. You're using stock images. You don't have any pictures or stories of yourself. You don't have an easy call to action. You don't have an easy way for somebody to reach out and connect with you. You don't have social proof with all those reviews that we talk about. You don't have videos. You don't have like featured on, as Clay was, on TV, or like a journal article that you had done. So like people get it all backwards because they're so fixated on like in-person quoting. What scripts do I say? But they don't want to spend that $1,000 to $5,000 on a professional grade website that's going to be their literal face of their business. So like CRM, super important, website. Those were the first 2 things that we both invested in before we got an 8 gallon a minute machine, before we got all this fancy roof soft wash, because that was what propelled ourselves forward and differentiated ourselves from the rest of the guys in our area who didn't do that. So what would
Right,
you,
yeah.
what would,
So the branding's more important than buying the fancy equipment up front. Highly recommend doing it the right way and not the backwards way. Because it's easy when you're YouTubing or you're whatever, you're listening to other podcasts, you're following other guys online that may have caught your attention, and just trying to learn the business and trying to learn the pressure wash. You can be steered the wrong direction by somebody that's not doing it the right way, or they're not successful themselves. It just looks successful online.
Exactly. And a lot of times people want to be the technical guys, or be cautious of who the customer is. If you're online and you see a guru online, they're posting all this stuff. Their focus is attracting you, the fellow pressure washer, to think that they're a guru or they're an expert. But are they attracting customers who are like searching for their pressure washing services? When you look at guys and want to follow guys, are they actively like dominating an area? Or are they trying to sell you that they're dominating an area? Are they trying to sell you that like they're an expert or a guru? And then you look them up online and they don't have any great track record of pressure washing success. And I think that's a big thing in this kind of, like we always joke, the guru era of Facebook. Somebody figures out they can make $10,000 in the busy season, and they figure out, whoa, it's a lot more expensive and more difficult than just that to pressure wash. So I'm going to sell people on how to pressure wash, and I'm going to sell you a course, or I'm going to sell you a marketing service or stuff like that. So figure out too, like, who is your ideal customer? Who are you going after? And when you're looking for people for advice, don't necessarily be stuck in these like echo chambers of the Facebook groups where it's a bunch of owner operators that are clueless are telling you what to do because they've been doing it for 20 years. And that's that's a dying breed of people because they're the ones probably complaining that they're slow this year, as opposed to like always innovate, always evolve, and try to be as like in front of the curve and in front of the crowd as you can.
Yeah, and usually I have found the trend with gurus in my last 5 years of doing this is the trend is the only customer that are attracting is you, which is the new pressure washer or the pressure washer looking for answers or the pressure washer that needs help. There's a few types of gurus. It's the guru that wants to teach you the business side of things, which half the time they're not doing the things that they're trying to teach you. And then the other one is usually is like a somebody that's invented some sort of gadget and they're trying to sell you on their products that they have come out with.
Exactly. Yes. They're selling a high level business strategy that you can YouTube, or like you said, they created a new way of pressure washing, and instead of using a $7 downstream injector in a pressure washer, this is that special roof pump that you only have to buy through me for 2,500 bucks, and it's upstreaming, downstreaming, cross streaming. They're selling you the new flavor of the week, and
Yeah.
that's not what the professionals use, because the professionals have to show up every day. They got employees doing their work where they're doing $2,000 a day, and they can't have something new and break. Like there's guys who would rather chase $1,000 job and do one of those jobs every couple days and say, "Oh, I'm killing it. What are you guys talking about?" And then there's other people who are saying, "This is our business, and we do 1,000 jobs or 800 jobs, and we are slam packed full." So like, be careful who you're looking at. The guy that's doing it on the side, or he doesn't need to make money or provide for a family doing this, he can get away with doing these one-off jobs and finding somebody who wants to overpay for a service. But like, look after people who are in the trenches or doing this. Don't just gravitate towards these people who are always active in social media groups, because I'll tell you what, if somebody's active in a social media group, they're trying to sell you as the customer. They're not investing their time helping you because they want to help you. Like, they're not pressure washing houses. They're in here pretending to, and they're trying to trick a bunch of newbies to follow their advice. And usually there's a paid service on the other end of it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then the next thing I know we talked about the CRM, we talked about the importance of a website. We talked a little bit on gurus and stuff like that. And then the next thing I was going to talk about was making sure you do have equipment. I know I just said a minute ago the equipment doesn't matter. The equipment does matter, but the getting yourself set up in order to get the equipment to be able to serve your customers, there's just a right way of doing it, right? So the 4 gallon a minute is a perfect beginning machine. You do not need to have the 8 gallon a minute machine. I can go out and I can do 3 houses a day with a 4 gallon a minute machine, no problem, no struggle, whatever. But once you get to the point in doing more than, I'd say, 2 to 3 houses a day, then you probably want to invest in yourself, invest in a nicer equipment. And then once you get that nicer equipment, the biggest thing is making sure you maintenance that equipment, because all you are is one belt away, or you never know, a seal away in a pump from going bad. Luckily, I have three of these machines, so I can just take one off, put one on, do whatever. Always make sure you have two of everything.
Yep. O-rings, like you said, belts. Make sure
Extra
you're,
ones.
yes, like everything breaks if people are trying to tell you, oh, if you just wash out your downstream injector every time, it won't blow up. You won't have issues there. I mean, like, I don't know if you guys do the trick that we do. The spring and the ball in there, you can stick like a what we'll do is
Paperclip.
like, yeah, we'll stick a paperclip in there and kind of like reset it here and there, and say it's not pulling fun, and we'll do that to help us get away. But we always carry like 4 or 5 in our truck because they're cheap. Keep them on the truck. You'd hate to be on a job and say, man, I can order this, but it's going to take until tomorrow to get this. And this $20 downstream injector is going to cost me a whole day of productivity. So that was one of those things we learned the hard way in the beginning, but now even with hoses too, like we always try to keep like an extra 100 foot of hose in a truck because, like you said, you never know when you're going to blow one, and you don't want to be like having to go back another day because you only got a 100 foot section of hose and you got to loop around somebody's house to clean stuff. That was what happened to us on Friday, and then O rings too. Those things, if you don't carry your O rings, you're going to be you're going to have like a 10 cent O ring cost you a day.
The biggest thing with O-rings with me, Matt, is I always have them in the truck, but I can never find them because they're in like a little baggie or something. It's
Yep.
always a pain in the tail, and it's always when I absolutely need them.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's fun. I'm trying to think other things that
Hoses too.
yeah.
Unless you want to run to the store and get a hose, make sure you have a hose in the truck. That's I've had to reel my hoses up last minute and have to run, and it take an hour of my day just because I busted a hose to go get another hose and plumb it back to the truck or whatever I need to do.
Yep, never fun times. Another thing too, keep some. I looked out. We were doing a job down in our college that we washed, Presbyterian College, and I hit a rock under the surface cleaner, and it hit the swivel, and it snapped the swivel off of my bottom of my pressure washer, so it cross threaded all that stuff. Luckily, I had an extra swivel in my truck too, so like pressure surface cleaner tips, swivels, stuff like that. Like if I broke that swivel tip, I would have had to leave, order a new one, and then come back another day because what are you gonna do? Not have a surface cleaner? So like stuff like that you learn the hard way. So it's like we talk about equipment. Yes, equipment's important, but like don't think, oh, once I buy this one machine for 8 gallon minute machine for what $4,000, I'll be set. Account
They're
for
still gonna
like,
break.
yeah, account for maintenance, account for hoses, and like you look at these skids and you're like, man, why is the skid so expensive? A lot of times, I mean, it's not the pressure washer that's expensive. It's the reels, the hoses, the guns. Like that stuff adds up. And I mean, you'll spend thousands of dollars on hoses every year, and that's just because we're using them. And you got bleach, you're dragging it around all day long. So that's where the stuff adds up. It doesn't add up when you buy that $3,000 or $4,000 pressure washer. I mean, you pay that off in half of a week of work. It's the maintenance and the upkeep of that thing for the 1,000, 2,000 hours that's what costs you money.
Absolutely, and I believe you actually put your skid together yourself. By the time you were done, you said you would never build another one. Was that right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Clay's got all the fancy stuff through C3, so if you guys are in the market, that's where you need to go. I
C3
was kind of
skids.
I was doing more of like the budget build. I didn't want to just spend a ton of money up front, so I was like, okay, well, I have a trailer. I was just kind of putting stuff together, but it is a pain, and you don't have to build your own skid nowadays. You can buy them from somebody pre-made, and like Clay was saying, like it's kind of nice to be able to like with his setup, he's got everything there. He's got his powered reels, like you got the stuff plumbed correctly. You don't have to get a rig and figure it out because there's a lot of times you'll buy something, you're like, oh, I bought the wrong size hose, I cut it, I can't return it, I wasted money. And oh, I bought the wrong pump for a 12 volt, I don't know how to wire it correctly, I'm get rigging this versus just buying it completely together where you know it's going to work. And then at the end of the day, time is money.
Time is money for sure. And you want to make sure you got everything correct because you don't want it going down on you on a job, right?
Yep. And then, like you said, with
Yeah.
12 volts, you probably should keep it an extra pump here and there just so you're not running into issues.
Yes. Yes, and those relay switches. I just replaced the pumps altogether because I can't stand messing with a relay switch and adjusting those and all that crap. I can't ever get rid of a pulse.
Yep. And I don't run a 12 volt, but I'll probably get a 12 volt for my F-250 truck. But the Chevy truck I run, we have an AR-45 on the side. And I cracked the blend manifold that I need to essentially buy a new manifold when it was cold, we were doing work in the wintertime. I had a pinhole crack, and of course, when you're blowing like 11 or 12 gallons a minute through it, it's starting to open up. So we started noticing we're doing roof washes, and we got 4% bleach or 6% bleach, whatever strength was blowing out of a pin size hole into somebody's dirty driveway. So they got a nice clean spot in their driveway, and that kills me more than anything. When if
Yeah,
you're not cleaning the driveway and then it's a dirty driveway and you have this like bleach
those
clean
runs.
spot, it looks terrible in my opinion, and it's like, all right, well, I got to buy another manifold for this thing just to repair it.
It's almost as bad as your truck leaking oil on the driveway.
I had, yeah, we've had a situation like that too. You clean the guy's driveway and then you leave a little bit of oil in it. You're like, frick.
Yeah. So the last topic that I have, I don't know if you have any more after this, but the last topic that I had wrote down was that made me money or that has made me money is networking with my competitors.
I think
So
I think that's a great one.
as crazy as it sounds, networking with your competitors, you can make money, believe it or not. And what I mean by that is you may have a guy, you may be busy, and let's just say, okay, so I'm busy this week, and I have a car wash that I had to quote, and it's going to be about a $6,000 job. So I called up Matt. I said, "Hey Matt, if I can land this job, are you available to help me on this day?" And we just split the money. I mean, that's 3 grand in a day. It's two guys that know what they're doing. They know what we can get in and out. We can make 6 grand in a day, 3 grand a piece, and boom, we're done. And it's good collaboration. You can talk, you can learn stuff from each other, and it's good. I think it's good for the community as well.
I think so too. And one thing that's cool with that as well, because Clay and I both sit kind of at the top of our market with marketing and Google, and a lot of times we're shopped against each other. And people don't always know that we're friends, and they don't always know that we have this podcast together. So I always like whenever I hear like, oh, we're shopping around, and I'm like, oh, who are you shopping around with? And then like they're like C3. I'm like, oh yeah, like great guy, we have a podcast together. It is funny because people are like almost taken aback because they think, oh, as competitors we have to hate each other, we have to like try to like steal each other's business. But I'm like, no, it's a very collaborative relationship we have. And not only does it push each other to like, hey, grow, and then say you're doing this over here, and then I don't have to figure it out myself. You can talk to, and I can kind of gauge each other and say, all right, well, that didn't work for you, I don't want to try it. Or I'm doing something and you're like, well, I don't want to scale this fast because that seems like a pain in the ass. And you can kind of lean on each other. And it's also good from the standpoint of like, hey, I have a part that broke, can you help me? And then vice versa, stuff like that. So yeah, instead of viewing everybody as your enemy out to get you and saying, oh, these people are killing the market, why don't you connect and be friends with them? Because I remember back in the day, like a lot of the pressure washer buddies were friends of mine, and then like we'd go out or they'd see something that I'm doing and they're like, hey man, you're like striping up these driveways because you got a clogged tip, or your tips are not the right way, like you're doing something wrong. Or they're like, why are you downstreaming out of a bucket that's called X-jetting? You're doing it wrong. And stuff like that saves you so much time because somebody is better at what you're trying to do, and they can make you not look like an idiot. And that's kind of the beauty of having relationships with guys in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I can't count how many times I've had to call another pressure washer and tell them I need help, or call and ask them about something if they've ever had an issue that they've helped me with before, or like how we met, the surface cleaner deal, loaning each other machines and stuff like that. Um, just I think it's very healthy as a business owner to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, because just a regular individual, even anybody else that's in the home service industry, it's all the same thing. You can just surround yourself with people that are like-minded and that might give you some ideas and plug the holes that you're having trouble filling, then make you a lot of money.
Yep. And at the end of the day, it's not all about money. It's about your mental health, your happiness, and having fun. If you're trying to do everything yourself, it's going to be a miserable road. You're not going to learn as fast. You're not going to make as much money. And like Clay says, when you're stuck on a big job and you're like, hey, could I have your help for Saturday? You can price and win things accordingly versus you're like, oh man, I don't have this extra truck, or I don't have an employee ready to do this, or like I wouldn't want to trust an employee on a job And some jobs you want to loop in an owner operator guy, or you want to loop in another guy who's the business owner, because you don't want to just have a bunch of employees willy nilly spraying stuff or doing stuff that could damage property. Like, my employees are great, but there's things that I do and I'm on the job for than my guys are. So like kind of higher end tickets, stuff that takes a little more attention to detail or more knowledge. You loop in a buddy, you loop in somebody who's that same level playing field as yourself, you can really tackle big projects together. And the guy I work with, Aaron, is started the same way. It was like we collaborated together, and then he's like, "Well, I don't want to just keep subbing you pressure washing jobs. How about we just merge stuff together?" And then I opened up a whole division that he runs solely, the sealing division with concrete sealing and paver sanding. And that worked and started the same way that our relationship Clay and I did. Like, instead of saying, "Oh, I'm going to compete with you," or "I'm going to try to nickel and dime and sub stuff to you," it's just like, how about we collaborate here and build something bigger, and then you can run in this lane and like max out your profitability of your time, and everybody wins. So
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I see in our and just specifically our area is it's just the guys let their egos get in the way more than more than anything. And I've had a lot of guys block me on Facebook, delete me on Facebook, but then when they see me on the road or they see me out in a neighborhood, they start waving at me, and it's just like, come on, man. I tried to be friends with you a long time ago, and I think it's just an ego thing.
yeah, don't let your ego, because if you got an ego, you probably aren't doing anything. And that's not hating or anything like that. But like, when you're putting up real numbers, you don't have time to look around and try to compare yourself to other people, nor do you care. Like, Clay and I, we put up big numbers, and it's like, you're kicking ass. Clay will put up humongous numbers for us, like running a truck solo with what he's doing this, and I'm like, I have no interest in doing that. Like, you're almost putting up numbers that we're putting up with two trucks solo, which is nuts. And I was like, I don't want to compete there. That's your trophy. That's your thing. Like, keep killing it. So like, there's no ego at all. It's just like, hey, that motivates me to push harder. I'm like, if he can push this out with one truck, I need to squeeze more out of my two truck situation. And again, it's just like, it's all fun camaraderie. It's like, you don't want to hang out with somebody who's complaining and bitching about like, oh, the market's terrible, there's too many people in here. Because if you're hanging out with people like that and you've got ego problems, it's just going to pull you down, and your business is not going to be where it needs to be, and you're not going to be a fun person to hang out with. Because like, at the end of the day, we're doing this to make money, we're doing this to be successful, and it's not just to gripe and bitch and moan all day long. If that's your attitude and you got ego problems, get a job, because you don't deserve to have your own business. And it's kind of like what we've talked about in previous episodes. Like, business isn't a chore. Like, we actively choose, and we're blessed to be able to do our own business. Like, a lot of responsibility comes with that, and we need to like not be entitled about it. We need to say, "Hey, I'm thankful I can like do my own thing," and it just requires a lot of work, and it's almost a privilege. So be in collaboration with people who view it that way, and you're always gonna like. It's like that quote, like raising tides raise all ships, or whatever the quote is. It's like, hey, you want to be around people who are winners, because if your crowd is bitching and moaning and trying to like have their ego and being mad, just cut those people instantly out, because they're not worth your time.
It's only going to weigh you down.
Yep. Because you'll figure out real quick who your friends are when you start a business. Everybody loves you in the beginning, but when you start getting successful at it, that's when their real feelings come out.
It's
And
kind of like everybody hates a winner, man.
yep,
Look at everybody who wins all the NASCAR races. Everybody, they're not a fan favorite more than likely. And look at your top football teams. Nobody likes the top football teams, the basketball teams, and I could go on and on about it. I mean, it's everything. Nobody
yeah,
likes a winner.
you got Dabo, and then you got like Sanders
Nick
over here.
Saban.
Yeah, Nick Saban. Like, no, they got all the haters in the world, and it's like, hey, the more haters you got, the more people that are coming at you, the better you're doing. It's like, you're over the
Absolutely.
target when you got haters. When you don't have any haters, nobody cares about you. That's You're doing something wrong. So don't try to please everybody. Don't try to like make people feel safe and comfortable around you, because hey, like, they're gonna feel challenged of, like we were saying, their ego. And if somebody always has to be one up and you or doing better than you, or like having an excuse, you don't want them in your circle.
No, there's a lot of those around.
Yep. That's why there's like the 1% is at the top and everybody else is at the bottom. This Like, hey, it takes a lot to grow a business. It takes a lot to be successful. It's a lot of hard work, commitment, and dedication. Just because somebody says they're a business owner doesn't necessarily mean they are. And they're probably just a few years away from having a job again. So don't allow the opinion of these people to pull you down and sucker you back into that trap. So, like, the most important thing is just like keep pushing ahead, believe in yourself, surround yourself by good people, and everything else will take care of itself. And you'll figure out like you got customers or you're like usually your number one fans because they sense that energy too.
Yeah, I had a lady the other day that's exactly what you just said. She just said, "Man, I'm so proud of you. I've been following you. I see what all you've done, and it's just amazing to see how far somebody can come in just a few short years." So, hundred
Think,
percent, your customers are watching you. They're your biggest fans.
think
You're their
about
biggest fan.
Yeah, think about it. It's like it's easier to make a friend out of a customer than a customer out of a friend. A lot of my friends, like if I like them, yeah, sure, I'll do stuff like friend discount. But more times than not, my friends are like my business owner, like Clay and Aaron and all these other guys, and also like customers that have been using me for 5 or 6 years. I got customers in my CRM. We have like $10,000 worth of business back and forth over the years, and they've become good friends. They're fellow business owners, and it's like that's the energy that resonates with success. You don't want to be like looped into people that you were friends with making $20 an hour whenever you're working hourly because honestly, I don't have much in common with those people anymore. So like our conversations aren't really going to elevate each other. It's going to be like kind of weird sometimes. So figure out that circle that allows you to grow and doesn't judge you and encourages you.
100%. I
And
think
that's
that's a good closing statement there.
yeah, I think that's good. And that's like, hey, you listen to the Wash Bros. You guys are already investing in yourselves and leveling up your game and being around good energy. So that's all I got. I hope everybody had a good Mother's Day and is knocking it out of the park as we're going into May and our busy season. Uh,
Yeah, busy season's here. Make sure you're getting all you can while you can. Make the most of it because December and January come around pretty quick when it slows down, and you'll be wishing you would have pushed a little harder in May if you ain't pushing harder now for sure.
yep. Yep, you have the whole off season. If you're tired, if you're drained, if your body's saying, "Oh man, I just want to take a break. I want to take my foot off the gas. I want to slow down my ad spend." Just think about how you're going to feel in December through January and February when you're wishing you pushed so hard this month.
And you had all that money to go on vacations like me in January.
Yep. But that's all we got for this episode. Appreciate you guys for watching and follow us on our socials and like and subscribe. You got anything else you want to say?
Yeah, just give us a follow. Follow my personal page, Clay Smith. Follow my business page, C3 Wash Pros. I got a TikTok page, Pressure Wash Guru. It's the Pressure Wash Guru. Follow Matt's personal page, Matthew Jackson. Follow his business page, Matt the Driveway Guy. And last and foremost, make sure you follow the Wash Bros group. If you're a pressure washer, fellow pressure washer, want to collaborate with us in that group. And then the Wash Bros podcast page on Facebook, and then Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts to make sure you listen to all of our episodes and follow our journey.
Tons of good advice, and it's cool as we've been doing this. We're at the 14th episode of our kind of like our rebrand where we're doing it weekly, and we're starting to get people reach out to us, and it's super cool to connect with you guys and see where you're at, what part of the country you're at, how we've helped you. We've had a guy the other day, he reached out and he said, "Hey, I've been watching your show. I finally hit $1,000 a day." Like that's awesome. Like you're able to listen to a show for free and it doesn't take any energy out of your end or any money out of your end. And by just listening to what we're talking about, episode after episode, you're able to apply it to yourself and make $1,000 a day. And that is awesome. That's huge money. Think about like when you and I first started, you're like $1,000 a day, man. I could $200 a day is more than I've ever made. So like it's like all about leveling up, continuing, growing your business, growing yourself as an individual, and it's just a fun thing to be a part of. And couldn't do it without everybody in the audience who's listening, and it's always fun to Kaleo post on his personal pages where you're like, whoa, we have people in different parts of the world listen to this. That's super crazy to me. So, but that's everything we got this episode. And if you guys want to, I got a book on Amazon, No Pressure Pressure Washing. This will be my shameless plug. It's free on Kindle Unlimited. There's an Audible version for free. It's pretty much the 22 steps of how to make your first six figures. If you're listening to this, you want something that's you can read it. It's 80 something pages. It's got pictures in it for those you can't read. Pick it up on Amazon, or it'll be in our Facebook group, the Wash Bros group that we're talking about. But that'll be everything. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Peace.